The sun come up, it was blue and gold.
For this exhibition we're bringing, let's say, smaller versions of some of the very classic outdoor works that I've had. For example, the installation I did in Tempelhof in Berlin in 2012, which was very important in terms of my art practice. We have a smaller version of the text that says, "The people you love become ghosts inside of you, and like this you keep them alive." People began to really connect with this work in an emotional way, and about 5 years ago we started to notice that people were getting tattoos of the text on their body. That's the moment where I feel as though my work is working, because actually the point of making art is to touch the hearts of strangers, and I think that achievement is more important to me than anything else. You know, I just had my first exhibition in an American art museum, my first solo show in a US art museum at the Aspen Art Museum, which just closed in May, and it's really obviously wonderful to have that kind of institutional recognition, but really the private conversation of art is a very individual one between the viewer and the art object that often happens in private. And you know, I think that you always make work with that silent conversation in mind. So touching the heart of a stranger with a piece of work is really my whole ambition. I think the language of poetry is a really intimate language, and we need that kind of language more than ever, because our lives are so dominated by the language of news media, the language of politics, the language of the internet, and all of these languages are completely materialist languages. They only treat the outside of ourselves, they treat us as a demographic, they treat us as a consumer, they treat us in a way as a number. And I think that the type of speech of poetry creates a space where we can reunite our inner emotional self with the exterior world. And I think that's a therapy that we all really intensely need at this point, especially because the media has become so invasive on our person. The way we carry around smartphones is a little bit like carrying television in our pocket the whole time. We live so intimately now with the spectacle that I think we need some safe space to reflect and be protected from the very harsh language of the internet and the media. I wanted to, once my public work was really in the world and quite well known, I really wanted to return to painting because I wanted to find an intimate space for myself, for that kind of reflective space that I was speaking about. You know, when I do a public work, there's a team of people, it's a production, it's like running a team, and I really enjoy that process, but I also, it made me yearn for, you know, in a way, the time when I was a young artist and I was just alone in my bedroom making paintings. In the last few years, I've been going back to painting just to find that escape into reflective space for myself again, and I've really been enjoying that process. And I think that this exhibition is maybe just the second exhibition where people are going to see that work, so it's really, you know, a very exciting show for me from that point of view. Looking forward to working. The gallery is a great space, the gallery has a great scale, so it means with this exhibition we can be slightly retrospective and show some, like, you know, classic works from the last 10 years alongside a body of new work, and they can share a space. It's a little bit retrospective with a big body of new work that I'm very excited about.